Some days sports histories are busy. February 23rd, this date is loaded. We're talking knockouts, record nights, and numbers that still don't make sense to this date. And for those that don't know me, I'm Cody, and I bring you sports history daily, so you never miss the moments that shape the games that we love to this date. Let's get it started. Starting in 1938, where Joe Louis wasn't just winning fights, he was dominating people. On this date in sports history, Louis was defending his heavyweight title against Nathan Mann at Madison Square Garden. And honestly, this one didn't last very long, which was typical for Louis. Louis stopped Mann in the third round, continuing one of the most dominant championship runs boxing has ever seen. And at this point, challengers weren't trying to win, they were just trying to survive. This was a different era and the same problem. Nobody had never had an answer for Joe Louis. Now let's fast forward to the NBA in the year 1962. And yes, we have another ridiculous Wilt night. On this date in sports history, Wilt Chamberlain dropped 65 points for the Philadelphia Warriors. You heard that right, 65. And the wild part is, this wasn't even his most famous night ever. That's how absurd Wilt's career was. Night after night, he was putting up numbers that still start arguments to this date. But I'm sure someone in the comments, they will remind us that he was playing against plumbers, like that actually matters. But either way, that box score still looks fake to this date. Now we move to hockey, and when February shows up in the NHL record books, it usually is one name that follows, Wayne Gretzky. On this date in 1982, Gretzky recorded his 100th assist of the season. Just let that sink in for a moment. Most players hope for 100 points. Wayne Gretzky, he hit 100 assists, and he did it faster than anyone in league history. This was peak Oilers Gretzky, where every night felt like another record was about to fall, and at some point it stopped being dominance and it started being unfair. Now let's move over to tennis. In the mid-80s, it belonged to one player, Martina Navratilova. In 1986, she added yet another tour victory during one of the most dominant stretches in women's tennis history. During this era, Navratilova wasn't just winning, she was stacking titles at a pace that tours struggled to keep up with her. Her power and precision and consistency was a nightmare for anybody. And once she was in rhythm, matches fell over before they even started. And getting back to the ice, because the 80s NHL was absolutely ridiculous, Mario Lemieux added another multi-point performance on this date during his prime years. If you watch Lemieux in full flight, you know the difference. Where Gretzky was surgical, Lemieux was explosive. He was big hands, elite frame, and the ability to take over a game in minutes. Basically, pick your poison if you were a goalie in the 80s. Hockey fans were spoiled in the era, and they didn't even realize it. So before we wrap up February 23rd, also featured additional heavyweight activity in Joe Louis's era. There was multiple NBA statistical milestones and more NHL box scores that look completely normal until Gretzky shows up again. Funny how that keeps happening. So if February 23rd taught you us anything, it's that some dates produce moments. This one produced legends. Joe Louis finishing fights early, Wilt putting up video game numbers, Gretzky putting up the stat sheet again, Navratilova stacking titles, and Lemieux doing Lemieux things. Alright, it's your turn. Which performance from today's list impresses you the most? Drop it in the comments. I'm curious where you land. And if you're into sports history, you're in the right place. We'll see you tomorrow.